John Heilman, I want to underline before we get into what I believe Donald Trump pushed out front as distractions. I want us to set up this week.
Yeah.
Before Syria, before Afghanistan, before Mattis, and explain to me, if you will, just how serious the legal problems facing Donald Trump and his children are, especially as the New York State Attorney General launches full steam into an investigation of the Trump Organization.
Well, that graphic is pretty good, that we've got up here right now. Trump Foundation, Trump Campaign, Trump Transition, Trump Inauguration, Trump Administration, and Trump Organization. Like everything that's got Trump's name on it is now being investigated by one investigatory body or another, whether it's Bob Mueller, the Southern District of New York, the Eastern District, the New York State officials. There's literally nothing Donald Trump has touched or is currently attached to that's not being looked into by some law enforcement body or some prosecutor, someone who has subpoena power. So is it bad? I think it's bad. And I think, I do think that it's just now, one of the reasons why the end of this week is so unsettling for people, Joe, this sense you talked about a second ago, wheels coming off the wagon. Some people think the wheels have been off the wagon for a long time. And even Donald Trump knows, as he says in this tweet, that the wheel is a pretty important piece of technology. So if you're losing your wheels, apparently you're losing a lot of your stability.
Not as important as walls, though.
Not as important as walls. Wheels or walls, which is what's more important?
Wheels or walls. I forget who it was, but somebody tweeted last night. They said, we're hearing that the wheels are falling off this administration, and then finished the tweet by going, there were wheels?
Yeah, right.
I never knew there were ever wheels on there. But for now, to quote the Bible, because I know you're a huge, as Donald Trump would say, 1 Corinthians fan.
Yeah.
But in 1 Corinthians, there's a verse that says, for now we only see through a glass darkly.
Right. Yeah.
So we can't. The Rolling Stones also use that. But we're looking through that glass darkly. We don't know everything out there that Mueller knows is out there, and certainly nobody knows more of what's out there than Donald Trump and his children right now.
Yes,
it gets a lot worse, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Look, everybody has said for a long time that Mueller's like an iceberg. We're only seeing the very tip of it. We're starting to see a little bit more of it every day now, Joe. But, you think about like this inaugural investigation, which came out of nowhere. No one had any idea about that. All of a sudden, the Wall Street Journal reports on it. And it's a very ugly situation in which, there's suggestions and intimations that millions of dollars that were collected, tens of millions of dollars that were collected, kind of just went missing for the inauguration. There are a lot of very significant people in Donald Trump's orbit who were involved. That story is ongoing right now. There's, any one of these investigations now looks like
Tom Barrack and the kids, were they involved in the inauguration, or is there a concern for them?
I believe Tom Barrack was pretty intimately involved in the inauguration, and we've, in this reporting that we've seen. There's a suggestion that all the Trump children had rubbed up against that operation in one way or the other. And so I just think that, when you think about what Donald Trump is concerned about, he's obviously concerned about himself. He's concerned about the future of his presidency. He's concerned about his legal jeopardy. But he's also been very concerned about his children. And I think on all of these fronts, and you keep pointing out the New York State is super important because of the fact that the presidential pardon does not extend to a state investigation. I think there are a lot of investigatory bodies right now that are looking very closely at Donald Trump's, not just Trump himself, but about Trump's family, and trying to figure out they're looking at him in a way that suggests that all of them have jeopardy that is serious and significant criminal jeopardy, and that has got to be part of what's feeding Trump's sense of panic right now. And there's no other way than to describe it than panic. What we're seeing out of the White House right now.
And again, we hear an awful lot about pardons, but you look at the New York State investigations. The president's pardon power doesn't extend to states. We could talk about General Flynn and what happened in Pennsylvania and the possible conspiracy to kidnap a Turkish dissident and drag him back to Turkey against his will. Well, if Michael Flynn were pardoned of federal charges, there could be Pennsylvania charges that could land him in jail for a considerable amount of time. There is no way out for this president. It's looking more and more obvious that there's no way out for members of Trump's family if they have committed crimes, or for members of Donald Trump's cabinet, which is, of course, causing this panic.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.